This video is sponsored by G2A.com. G2A is the premier place to save on game keys for Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and yes, Nintendo Switch games. With their spring sale, they have insane deals, including a deal of the day that changes every 24 hours. Seriously, some of the sales you can find on here are kind of insane. For example, if you somehow still haven't played Red Dead 2 yet, it's currently $18. That's absurd. You have to buy this game for that price. They also have sales for Switch games and occasionally even Nintendo eShop gift cards, which is obviously an insane deal. If you can snag one of those, 100% go for it. If you're looking to buy any sort of video game, check G2A.com first to save some money. Click the link in the description to browse their spring sale today.
Miyamoto, the father of Mario himself, just basically confirms that they're in the process of making a new Mario game, which is huge because everyone thought that they were done making new games. Just kidding. In today's video, I compiled a list of 50 new Mario game ideas that could be announced in any future Nintendo Direct. Obviously, none of these are like even rumored or confirmed. Some of them are definitely more likely than others. I got 50 Mario game ideas and I just want to share them with you guys. So here we go. Starting off, the most obvious, the one I want the most. Well, do it. Yeah, I do. Super Mario Odyssey 2 needs to get a sequel. And I'm getting scared that the Switch is coming to its end and that, you know, we won't ever get Odyssey 2, which would make me sad, but there's always hope. Next is Mario's Time Warp. Mario discovers a time machine and travels to different eras in history to collect artifacts to stop Bowser from altering the course of history. Then Super Mario Galaxy 3, we all know what this is, you know, basically the threequel we gotta get at some point. Or maybe not, who knows, but I thought that'd be a very cool idea. Then Super Mario and the Legend of the Brush, a super ambitious idea semi-inspired by the Spider-Verse. Basically, Mario can change the entire art style as his power-up. If everything looks like a normal Mario art, he's in his normal state, but he can change it to like, I don't know, a sketch or line art style, and he will have different like abilities and the like mechanics will act differently in those worlds, which I think would be actually super interesting. Super Mario 128, the heavily semi-rumored to have existed at one point game, the sequel to Super Mario 64. So if they were to make a sequel to Super Mario 64 at some point, that'd be amazing, but you know, I don't really know how it would go, but that's another idea for you. Next is Super Mario 3D Universe, which would kind of be like, again, the sequel to Super Mario 3D World, which was the sequel to Super Mario 3D Land. And it would basically be more of those kind of levels. I think Super Mario 3D World is probably my favorite multiplayer Mario game out there. And more games would just, you know, it would be amazing. Then Super Mario Wario World. Basically, this is a game where you switch perspectives between playing as Mario and playing as Wario, because, you know, they're kind of like, you know, the polar opposites of each other. Then Super Mario 3D Maker. This would be extremely hard to, you know, put together, but if it were to happen, it would literally be the greatest game of all time, and I'm not even joking. Infinite 3D Mario would just, oh my god, I'd lose my goddamn mind. Then we got some Super Mario Bros. Movie games. Basically, the first one is called the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the game, which is basically just a retelling of the movie, but as a story. That could be interesting, but what could be even more interesting is an epilogue to the movie. Basically, it picks up exactly right after the movie's conclusion, and it's Mario and Luigi now living in the Mushroom Kingdom, and all the shenanigans that go along with that. All right, do you guys remember The Lion King 1.5? Okay, so if you don't know what it is, basically it's The Lion King, like, you know, the movie, but from Pumbaa and I forget the other guy's name, but these two characters on the screen, you know, they're super iconic or whatever. It's from their perspective. I think that'd be cool if we got a game based on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but it's from, I don't know, Toad's perspective or something, or who's a better, like, I think Toad's probably the best example of this, but you could also do this for like Odyssey or, you know, Sunshine or literally like Galaxy or literally any games like that. So yeah, I think that would be super interesting. And then is Bowser's Fury 2. Bowser's Fury into an even bigger and bigger world would just be so amazing. Then a Mario 64 DS spiritual successor. So what was so cool about Super Mario 64 DS was basically that it was Super Mario 64 but had multiple characters. Like imagine Mario Odyssey, but instead of it just being Mario the whole time, you could actually play as like, you know, Luigi at some points or Yoshi at some points. Well, yeah, you could play as Yoshi because you could capture him, but you know, you kind of get what I mean. And then another idea I had is Super Mario Kong Catastrophe. Basically in this, the DK clan has been mind controlled, and you play half the game as Mario and half the game as Diddy to defeat the rest of the Kongs and fix their scrambled brains. Then a Waluigi game, that's the entire premise. Then It Takes Two Bros. Basically, it's an online multiplayer focused Mario game, which features, you know, Mario and Luigi, and they gotta solve like puzzles and kind of stuff like that. I think that'd be extremely neat. And then we have Super Mario Music Mania. Basically, this is a rhythm-based platformer like Cadence of Hyrule or Rhythm Heaven, but you know, a platformer. And then another idea I had is Super Mario Bros. Remix. Basically be a game where, you know, Mario travels through, you know, his different eras of, you know, gameplay, whether it be like 64 or the NES or Odyssey or any of those games. There's some sort of like overarching story or whatever, but basically it's just him, you know, going back and experiencing those old eras of Mario. I think that'd be kind of neat. Then Super Mario Sunshine 2. I think Sunshine is probably the most underrated game of Mario's that has ever been put out. And getting a sequel to that game, which I think, you know, just the immersion in that game of Isle Delfino it's so spot on that I would love to see a sequel to it. And then we have Super Mario Multiverse. Basically, Bowser gets every other Bowser from the entire multiverse, and you have to find all of the other Marios to defeat him. Each Mario has a unique ability and aesthetic. Then we have New Super Mario Bros. Switch. That's it. It's just a new Super Mario Bros. Game. Then we have Mario and Yoshi Dino Days. But basically it's Mario and Yoshi, and they travel back in time to the age of the dinosaurs, where they must navigate through prehistoric levels and battle Bowser's ancestor. Then we have Super Mario, a back-to-basics reboot of the series and a newcomer-friendly game for new fans. That one's a joke, obviously. Then we have Mario Mania, a Metroidvania style game where you play in one giant 2D map and get new power-ups that upgrade your abilities. Then Super Mario Sabotage. Basically, it's an origin story for Mario and Luigi with their childhood BFFs, Wario and Waluigi. When creating a plumbing company, Wario and Waluigi steal all of their assets, and Mario and Luigi must sneakily get through mobs of baddies in this spy-based adventure game. Then we have Super Mario Subscribe. Basically, in this game, Mario has to go buy an iPhone, scroll to the App Store, download YouTube, then look up Switch Stop, and hit subscribe. Then we have Super Mario Apocalypse. Basically, Mario has 3 days to save the Mushroom Kingdom before the Moon Kingdom slams into this world. And no, this isn't the plot to The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This is an entirely new concept. Then Super Princess Peach 2. This will include Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, and Pauline, and they all work together to rescue the Mario Bros. I think this would be honestly super cool, like if it was, you know, multiplayer based, kind of like 3D World, and they all have different abilities, because, you know, Daisy's got like I think she's got a double jump in Super Mario Run. Rosalina obviously has the spin jump, and then what could Pauline even have? You know, maybe she's got a hat because, you know, she's from Odyssey. Then my next idea is Super Mario Warp World. Mario and Luigi team up with a new ally who can manipulate the size and shape of objects, allowing them to traverse levels in new and creative ways. Then we have Jumpman, a fighting game where you have to jump to the top of Tall Mountain all the way from the underground. This is kind of, you know, the Getting Over It, the Pogo Stuck, the Jump King, but you know, Mario. Super Mario Nuts and Bolts, a Mario crafting adventure with a brand new sidekick, Crafty. Then we got Super Bowser World. Basically, imagine the end of Super Mario Odyssey where, you know, you're playing as Bowser, except that's the entire game. But obviously, you know, a little more, you know, gameplay oriented than just, you know, spamming the A button. But I think it'd be really neat if it was you played as Bowser and you tried to, you know, defeat Mario. That'd be like super neat seeing it from the other perspective. Then we have Super Mario Dimensions. It switches between 2D and 3D throughout the game. I think this would be an extremely neat way to incorporate more 2D Mario type beats into, you know, the future of Mario. Then we have Super Mario Fusion. Mario can fuse power-ups just like in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Then Mario's quest for the golden mushroom. In this game, Mario sets out to find the rarest and most valuable mushroom in the entire world to save the Mushroom Kingdom from financial ruin. Super Mario Quest. Mario embraces both platforming and RPG elements similar to the battle mechanics from the Mario RPG games. Mario and Bowser team up trouble. Mario and Bowser team up to save Peach from a warp star that sent her into the cosmos. They find Rosalina and the Lumas, ride the Comet Observatory all the way to the Grand Master Galaxy, where they will need to settle their differences and fight the existential blue Luma from the Mario movie. Then is Super Mario Meteorology. Couldn't come up with a better name, but you know, just trust me. Bowser seeks to abuse the power of the Weather Wand to become the most powerful creature in the entire world. As the weather changes, so do Mario's platforming mechanics, so he must adapt to his environment. Then is Super Mario Legend of the Sunken Stars, a pirate-esque adventure where you set sail across the vast sea of worlds after meeting Saily the sailboat to restore power to Mario's ship that crashed while he was vacationing. Super Mario Size Guys. Now, listen, Mario gains the ability to grow to a massive size and also shrink to the size of an ant. And he must use his newfound power to traverse this big and small world, kind of like, you know, the Tiny Huge Island from Super Mario 64, except, you know, that's the entire game right there. You know, you're going in and out, but, you know, you don't have to go in and out of the level. You just, you know, change size, you know, while you're playing the game. Then Mario's Random Roulette. The levels are randomly generated as you go through them, similar to roguelikes such as Hades and Spelunky. Mario's Subatomic Escapade. Mario shrinks down to the size of PJ from Switch Shop and must battle against microscopic enemies. Then we have Super Mario Undead Adventure. Mario becomes a zombie in this game and has to try and, you know, zombify the entire world. It's like an anti-zombie game where you're not trying to like save the world, but you're trying to like infect the world. Super Mario Royale. Okay, a battle royale. You play as Mario, and instead of going and getting different guns and like stuff like that from, you know, chests or whatever, you hit item blocks to get abilities and power-ups, okay? So, you know, you get the fire flower, you get the, you know, the superstar, you get the ice flower, you get, you know, the penguin suit, you get all of these neat ideas from, you know, throughout the Mario games. And then you just go and attack each other. Like, I obviously wouldn't be like 100 people, but it'd be like a good 25. And you all go in like this like enclosed area and you just, you know, you beat each other up and see who comes out on top. I think that'd be extremely neat. Next is an extremely hard Kaizo Mario game created by Nintendo. Now this sounds a little weird because, you know, Nintendo's all about, you know, their family-friendly, family-oriented games. But what if we got like the hardest? Okay, this kind of reminds me of like Luigi U, if you guys remember that, because those levels were a lot harder, but also it was based on the time, really. That's what made it so hard. What if we got just like the absolute most brutal and, you know, unfair levels, but they were created by Nintendo developers? The next is a Mario VR game. Kinda neat. Obviously it'd be more like a tech demo than anything because, you know, I don't expect them to put like all of their marbles into a VR game because, you know, it probably won't sell that great, but I think it'd be super, super interesting and I'd love to see it. Then finally, a bit of a cop-out for the final answer, but what if we just got a new 3D Mario game? Now, you know, don't boo me in the comments, but instead of, you know, a sequel to Odyssey, a sequel to 3D World, a sequel to Galaxy or 64 Sunshine, what if we got a Mario game that just got a completely new gimmick that I can't even think of right now? Is this a bit of a cop-out? Maybe a little bit. Maybe I could come up with a 50th game. All right, thanks everybody for watching the video. If you enjoyed, go watch our podcast, okay? We don't bring this up enough on the channel, so, you know, I'm not gonna send you straight to an entire podcast. Instead, I'm gonna send you to a segment where we talk about insert topic, because I don't know which one's gonna be up there right now. Okay, have a great day, goodbye. Bro, I can't tell if this was a good or bad video.